Inside Mercer Basketball with Coach Bob Hoffman and your host, Rick Cameron. Brought to you by Wild Wing Café.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the Bob Hoffman Inside Mercer Basketball show. We're going to just combine it, Coach. You know, we do radio and TV. Sometimes we split it, sometimes we get it right. So
I messed it up 2 weeks ago.
Well, we're going to talk Inside Mercer Basketball. Coach, it's always a lot of fun to get together.
It's what happens when you have gray hair.
When you have gray hair, and it's always a lot more fun when you're coming off of a couple of wins. We've been at home the last couple of games, but the guys have really hunkered down, so to speak, played really good defense the last 3 games, actually.
Yeah, it's been good. We had great crowds, energy in the building, and had a lot of different guys step up and make play after play for us to get the W's.
All right, let's talk about the opponents, Coach. Let's back it up to last Saturday. The Citadel comes to town, and I think every show this year we've talked about the Citadel, as everyone. But when you have a team in your conference that shoots threes the way Duggar Balcom's team does and successfully leading the nation in scoring, that doesn't happen every day. But once again, your guys stepped up to the challenge.
Yeah, they took 37 threes, so it wasn't from a lack of trying.
Yeah.
They were launching them from everywhere. Our guys were really connected, closed out on the ball well, and limited their second shots. We rebounded the ball at a high level. That was a big, I thought, one of the biggest stats going into the game. We're going to need to rebound the ball at a high level, and then we executed well. They were averaging 95 points coming into the game, leading the country in scoring. Amazing how they get points and how they push the ball.
Yeah.
And they have the freedom that they do, and they have so many different guys this year as opposed to last year where they had a few that could make threes. Now they have 7 or 8 guys that walk down the floor. They're 5-man, they're 4-man. Everybody can hit threes, and they all took them. Every position made a three in our game, but we were able to find ways and in fact beat them from the three-point line in the second half to get the win.
Well, you talked about needed a rebound. You did a great job. 44 rebounds, 11 offensive, 33 on the defensive end, but also unselfish work by all of your team. 20 assists on 27 made baskets, led by Steph with 8 and only 1 turnover.
Yeah, and I think if you look at that stat, we were 20 of 24 on twos.
Yep, correct.
It's amazing.
Yep.
20 of 24 on twos. That's a big-time stat. That might be the best two-point shooting we've had since I've been here.
And that's really the type game you need against the
Right.
Citadel type
Yeah,
team.
because we want to get points in the paint
Yeah.
to offset threes, but we were able to get some threes to go too. But that's what you have to do against a team that presses you, is going to trap you all over the floor. You got a numbers advantage. You got to find a way to get in there and attack the basket at the right time and right place.
Dimitri Rivers with 23 points, Rion had 17, and Jordan Strawberry continues to show us. At the beginning of the season, we were looking to Jordan to be the assist leader, but he's too valuable of a shooter. He's become an outstanding three-point shooter.
Yeah, he's third in the league right now in three-point percentage, almost 48% from threes, and I'm so happy that he's able to step up and do that. In fact, him and Rion together are really looking for each other. They have the ability to draw 2 and kick, and they have a really good feel going right now on when to do that, and it's really helped our team, no doubt about it.
You're somebody that kind of infects everyone on the court. Jordan Strawberry was feeding off of you. Talk about the relationship you guys have.
Oh, that's my guy, man. We go hand in hand. You know, I look for him, he looks for me. We make it work well together.
Right.
Then there was a very quick turnover from a Saturday afternoon game.
Great crowd, by the way,
Great
4,000.
crowd, the largest that I remember, over 4,000.
4,000, maybe as big as the Wofford game last year, but
From the floor, you couldn't even see outside.
Yeah, it was great. Tremendous crowd. And the women got a great win that day, too.
Absolutely.
So it was a fun day.
It was. So quick turnaround. Came right back with the Monday night game, the only conference game on Monday night. Western Carolina coming in, and you know when you play Western Carolina, they're going to crash the boards, and they were coming off of a huge win themselves at home against Wofford, who the previous game had defeated UNCG that was number 1 in the country. I mean, the conference.
Yeah, well,
they were. Take it a time.
Yeah, they were. They were number 1 in the league, and they played well. And their defense was at a different level than when we played them at their place in the game on Monday night. And that was against Wofford. That's why they were able to win that game. First half, we had no offensive rebounds. Challenged the guys at halftime. It was 23-22 slugfest. For Duger Bockham, that would definitely been an ugly game to watch. He might have had to get a barf bag if he was watching that game. But it was a tremendous game in the intensity part of when you look at a game. Everybody wanted to win. Everybody was putting out great effort, both teams. And then the second half, we were able to make some shots. And Desmond Ringer got loose in the lane. Our point guards found him time after time on some screen rolls and different actions, and looked off the defense, and he was 7 of 8 from the field, hit 2 free throws. He even hit a couple jumpers.
Yep.
So that was a special game for him, and really helped us get some separation, and we hit some threes again.
Yep.
Jordan was 3
3
of 4 from three-point line, which was big, and then Rion getting to the rim in the second half. He was fantastic. Corey Kilby had a really good game, and Jalen Stowe gave us great energy off the bench, defensively and rebounding the ball.
And you felt like you mentioned the 1 point, 23-22 at the half, and it was almost you sensed that whoever had the run early in the second half might win that game. You go on an 18-3 run over about a 5-minute period.
Yeah, it was great how we came out of the locker room. You know, I had all these texts of people saying, well, what'd you say at halftime, man? Must have been something special. I don't even know what I said. We were just talking about the game and talking about what we needed to do to win the game. I just challenged the guys that we need to play hard. We need to get some offensive rebounds, and we got 6 of them in the second half and ended up winning the game because we out-rebounded in the second half.
That's 3 wins in a row for the Bears. All right, let's take a break, go to campus. One of our seniors helping to provide leadership, and we're going to count on from here on in. That's Big Fish himself, Andrew Fischler. We'll go to campus, talk to Fish, and we'll be back with more of Inside Mercer Basketball.
So here's the game plan. Rush into the Wild Wing Café and tackle one of our new steakhouse burgers. 100% Angus, 100% great. It's an all-star lineup that can win you tickets to the biggest games of the year. Where? At the Wild Wing. The
Wild Wing. We continue now with Inside Mercer Basketball. We're back on campus at Hawkins Arena talking this week on our player spotlight with Andrew Fischler, 7'1" senior center out of Cumming, Georgia. Andrew, just got to ask you, you know, since I have known you, you've been 7'1". Mm-hmm. You obviously haven't always been 7'1". At what point in your life was the growth spurt when you started to leave everyone else behind?
My biggest growth spurt was probably my 8th grade year. I actually went into my 8th grade year. My mom was taller than me, and she's 5'11" and a half. By the end, I was about 6'4". So I grew about 6 inches.
Yeah.
There's a big gap.
Yeah. Tell us, not many of us will never know what it is to hover over everyone in the restaurant or at church. Are you okay with that? When people obviously, I bet, ask you all the time? Mm-hmm. Tell us about how that is.
Well, for me, I've grown up since about the 8th grade like that. So for me, it's normal.
Yeah.
I really don't know what it's like, per se, to be like on the normal level as everyone else.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I couldn't really tell you if it's any different because I don't know anything other than that.
You just usually are looking down at someone when you shake their hand.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about growing up as a youngster. Obviously, basketball was a big priority, but what other things did you enjoy doing growing up?
Well, back home we lived near a lake, so
yeah.
And I loved being outside. Everything to do with outside. I grew up camping. We have a boat, so we'd grow up boating.
Yeah, cool.
Just hanging out with family and friends.
Yeah. Now, as you grew older, went to high school, if the numbers I saw this morning are correct, you hold the state single game, season, and career for blocks. 18 in a game, 212 in a season, 308 for a career. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Obviously, you used your height to great advantage, but you still have got to hustle onto the floor to get that many blocks.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Tell us how, from high school, you went on to Gulf Coast State College. Is that correct? Walk us through that process.
Well, coming out of high school, I had a couple offers like Division II, Division III, not very many. And then at the last minute, I kind of had that option to go to Division I, like feeder, kind of JUCO. Mm-hmm. So I decided to go there, and I think it was the best decision I ever made.
And then at what point did you become aware and interested in Mercer?
It wasn't until the end of my 2 seasons there. And Mercer was the most persistent and most adamant on going towards me. And I at first pushed them away a little bit. wanted to see what other options I had. But then once I visited the campus and like with Coach and saw what it was about, I knew it was for me.
All right, I asked Desmond Ringer in an earlier show about, it's very easy watching a game in the stands on television. You see the guys shooting the threes, driving from the outside, but for you guys in the post, battling back and forth in the paint. Tell us what it's like for you knowing it's a war right a few feet away.
Oh yeah, every game it's a war. You gotta out hustle that man, post him up. It's tough, but something us big men have to know going into it and know how to battle.
Also, I would imagine it helps the fact you go daily against a Ringer and an Nganga to get you ready for the next game.
Oh yes, they're very, very strong. That's something I don't have. I don't have all the weight against me. I have the height, but it helps having them to go against in practice because they're both very, very strong.
Yeah. Only 2 seniors on this team. Tell us about what role you feel the importance of providing leadership for the younger guys as one of those only 2.
Well, for me, I'm not a very verbal guy, so I try to use my example of leadership on and off the court as far as showing them how to act and what to do. So I feel like I do a good job of doing that, of being supportive and just being a good example.
I know players continue to work individually on their game as we go down the stretch of your senior season. What personally do you feel like you still need to work on to make yourself a better player?
For me, I definitely need to work on getting stronger in the post still, because like I said, I'm not as big as JJ and Dez, but I got to work on grabbing the ball and keeping it strong, as well as rebounding. Yeah, I think those are big things for me. I need to continue to improve on.
Andrew, what do you major in, and one day what will you hope to do with that degree?
I am a communications major with a minor in media studies, and I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with that right now. But hopefully I'm looking maybe into playing some basketball after this.
Absolutely. All right, you played a lot of basketball, and obviously we hope there's a lot of basketball yet to play. In your heart, as you watch your teammates as we went through that tough non-conference schedule, tell us how well you feel we're prepared for this stretch run down the season in SoCon play.
Well, I feel like since Coach has, like he said, put us through the hardest schedule that we've ever had here at Mercer, I think that it is going to prepare us well for SoCon play. Yes, we have been losing a lot of games lately, but I think it's helping us build our team and helping us see how tough we really got to be going into these SoCon games if we want to be the best.
Yeah. You've gained a lot of experience here and the other places you've been. I always like to ask our guys, we always enjoy hearing what you guys have to say when I ask the question, what advice would you give to young people, whether it be a D1 college player or to be successful from the experiences you have had, what would you share with some of the younger folks?
I would say work hard every single day. Even when you don't feel like it, even when it may not seem like anything's happening because of it, I would say just keep working. Your time will come and good things will happen.
All right, well spoken from a guy 7'1", words we can all learn from. Thank you very much, Andrew Fisher, for visiting with us today. Look forward to watching you play the remainder of this season.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take it back up to Wild Wing with Bob Hoffman with more Inside Mercer Basketball.
For over 20 years, Mercer has relied on Forsyth Street Orthopedics.
Their team of doctors help keep our players on the court.
As a graduate of Mercer and a partner of Forsyth Street Orthopedics, we are proud to sponsor and take care of Mercer athletes. We work with Mercer Sports Medicine to return our injured athletes to competition as soon as their injuries allow and hopefully protect them from further injury.
Forsyth Street Orthopedics, getting better together.
Go Bears!
Well, we're back to talk more Inside Mercer Basketball. Coach, real quick, before we take a look at the SoCon and the standings and so forth, real quickly, we just talked with Andrew Fisher. I know as a senior, you have appreciated the contributions he's made to your program.
What a tremendous young man. He's worked hard. He's got a couple classes to finish up, going to graduate. He's worked at his game ever since he got here, from lifting weights, working on his footwork. Coaches have done a great job with him. He continues to get better. He's a difference maker. You know, he can really help us down the stretch, and he had a really good game against Western Carolina on Monday night.
All right, let's take a look at the Macon Occupational Medicine, look at the SoCon.
Yep.
Well, a week ago, Coach, it kind of looked like that ETSU, Chattanooga, UNCG were pretty much content to stay at the top of the pack. and maybe run the table toward the end, but then all of a sudden things got turned upside down. UNCG loses 2 in a row, Chattanooga loses 2 in a row, and Furman is trying to run the table themselves.
Yeah, they've won 4 in a row coming into our place this Thursday, but they're playing really good. Went into UNCG, played well, shot the ball well. There's still craziness out there to be had. VMI went to Chattanooga, won by 15. We've talked about it a lot. I mean, there's a lot of good teams, a lot of good players.
Yeah.
Mr. Peterson went off. We've seen that live and in person last year when he got 46 on us.
Yep.
Right, Bento? You were there when he got that at 46. It was amazing, and he got 40 in this game. And, it doesn't surprise me that he can do that. And there's lots of teams that have those kind of guys. Basketball's that kind of sport, and our league seems to be trending in that direction for this season.
One thing that amazed me of this past week, Coach, normally it seems like you get on a roll, you play well 2 or 3 games in a row, and then maybe not for a game or two, but these type games were changing game by game. You've got Furman beats Western Carolina by about 40-something, and then turn right around, and Western Carolina beats Wofford on Saturday night. So literally, we're talking about substantial changes just from one game to the next in this league.
Yeah, I just think that tells you about anybody can win any place, anytime, against anybody. I mean, like I said, anybody can win. I said it twice, so 3 times now. I think the most important thing you got to remember is nobody has the inside track, because right now there's 2 teams that have 2 losses, 2 have 3, and then there's multiple teams right behind that, and all those teams still have to play each other.
Yeah.
There's going to be more losses, still more turmoil. If we could get on a run and extend our run, you still don't know what could happen as the last 8 games we're playing down the end. We got 4 at home, 4 on the road. I'm excited at how we're playing defense. I really think we're executing a little better. We're finding our niche as we go. Rotations are getting a little cleaner on our substitutions. But you can't go anywhere thinking you're going to get a win. You got to go in knowing you're going to have to work for every possession and every rebound and every score that you're going to get.
Well, we've made the turn now with the game against Western Carolina on Monday night of this week. We now have played them twice, and now we start second go-round of everyone else in the league. Comparing with a month ago going into conference play, I know you felt like the caliber of play was much better, the coaching was outstanding, but anything else that jumps out at you as we start to look at everybody the second go-round about conference play?
Well, there's a few teams have some injuries, as you would expect this time of year, and that have a few setbacks because of that. Furman's had some injuries, and it hasn't affected them yet. But I think that's really usually what happens this time of season in conference play. You're going to have guys missing games here and there, and it just depends on how they shake loose and who you're playing against and what the game means in conference standings. I think there'll still be a few more of those as we get to the end. Because it's the mad dash to the end right now.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, we have 8 games. The good thing is we have 2 games this week, and then we don't play again until Saturday the following week. So we'll have another kind of recovery week, which I think was good for us before we played Citadel at home. Kind of got our legs back under us, and I thought we looked refreshed because of it.
You mentioned a moment ago, if we get on a roll, well, you've won 3 games in a row now.
Right.
How much higher is the confidence level of your team after now having 3 in the rearview mirror that were W's?
Well, we haven't been to practice yet since then, but I believe it'll be good. We have multiple players that are playing as good as they have all year right now, and that's always a good sign, a good feeling as a coach. We have a couple guys can still do more. I think they're going to come out of the pack at some point and have some big games. I'm really excited for the finish of this year. We were in a position we had to do what we did the last 3 games to give ourselves an opportunity as we finish the season and get some momentum of finishing some games and getting some separation in some games. And that's what I liked about those 3 games. All of them were tough, and we fought hard, and then toward the end we made plays to get more separation than we'd had in the conference games up to that point.
All right, this homestand's going to come to an end here in a couple of days. Furman and Wofford coming to town. We're going to talk about them when we return with more Inside Mercer Basketball.
As a business owner, you need to choose the financial direction that's best for you to find a clear path to growth and success. At BB&T, we support businesses of all sizes with personal service and advice, sharing the sound financial knowledge we've gained over more than 140 years so you can move ahead with confidence. Talk to us today about your business goals. BB&T, sharing knowledge for a brighter direction.
Well, we're back at Wild Wing Café talking Inside Mercer Basketball. Coach, before we take a look at our upcoming games, we've got Furman and Wofford coming up.
Right.
Let's drop back real quick to last week and name the Sonic Player of the Week.
Well, I think we're going to name two. Demetrius River against Citadel had a big game against his hometown team, had 23, and then Desmond Ringer against Western Carolina had 18, 7 of 8 from the field. Both of them played really well. Were outstanding in the game and helped us get the W's in both cases.
I agree with that totally. Now let's go with the Marco delivery of the week.
Well, you don't think of your foreman getting a lot of assists, but Stephon Jelks had 8 assists to 1 turnover in the Saturday game against Citadel. We're going to give it to him.
Yeah.
It was tremendous passing, and some guys hit some shots, got some back cuts, got some threes off his passing. We need him to continue that as we finish the season.
In your system, Coach, in my personal opinion, one of the most difficult plays or decisions to make is when Steph gets that bounce pass, whether to make that continued pass back door or not. That's got to be made in a split second.
Yeah, timing of it. We haven't been as good this year about it, and a lot of people have done different things to take it away from us, but our guys, we work on it a lot in practice. We haven't run it near as much recently. We're running some other things, but you're right. It does take some pinpoint passing and take some timing. And that's something we got to keep getting better at as the year finishes up.
All right, our games turn to February. Boy, what a great couple of games to finish off this
February,
homestand.
wow, February.
With Furman and Wofford. Let's start with Furman, Coach. There's not a hotter team anywhere in America right now.
No, they won 4 games in a row, really shoot the ball. Mr. Sibley is special.
Yeah.
He's so strong around the rim. And they have multiple guys that can make threes. Davis is playing really good, a great ball handler.
Yep.
And to me, big man inside is as good as it gets.
It kind of reminds you of the role that these guys got on year before last at the end of the season when they nearly ran the table in the tournament.
Right, they did. They had a great tournament run. I just think, it's one of those things, we got to be there, we got to rebound. They're going to try to slow play us, pressure a little bit, back zone, man, try to make it hard on us to execute our stuff. We've had some luck and success getting passes in the paint against them as we did the first time we played them. We'll have to get some of those against a very good team. Coach Medved's done a great job with that squad.
In the modern day era of college basketball, Coach, if you limit your opponent to 37 points in any one game, that's an amazing defensive effort against anyone.
No, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, and that's what they were able to do a couple nights ago. And they're leading the league. We're right behind them. Both of us are up there in scoring defense and defensive field goal percentage, so it should be a defensive juggernaut. Once again, it wouldn't be something Duger Bockham probably would enjoy.
And then on Saturday afternoon, a 4:30 game, boy, I just can't mention Wofford. I still stick with my claim that Fletcher McGee may be the best shooter in the league, and Garcia was outstanding when we played them the first time.
Yeah, he hit a lot of big threes, and you are right. Fletcher McGee can shoot. He twists his body and lets it fly from everywhere. Some of the most amazing shots I've ever seen in conference tournament play that he hit last season to give them opportunities. He hit a couple on us in the game at their place to put them in a position to win the game. You just got to be there. You can't foul him. It's hard because the way he turns his body, you can run into him really easily because he turns after he catches the ball and then finds the rim, and he's way up high.
He actually, at the conclusion of that Western Carolina game, when they were trying to catch in the waning seconds, shot just like what you're talking about, leaning from the hip, hit it, made a 4-point play, nearly tied the game up with only 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, it was an amazing shot. And Garcia, you are right. He's the best point guard in the league, I think. He's just real consistent because of what he's able to do, and he shoots 90% from the free throw line late in the game. He can close the game. He has a knack of getting fouled or making it look like he's fouled and getting to the free throw line. We'll have to be really solid on him. He's just really tremendous with the ball in his hands. He understands the game at a high level, and he makes Wofford play the way they do. Coach Young is fantastic, just like Coach Medved. Coach Young's been doing it a long time, and they run as many sets as we do, and you can't really scout them the way we try to do a lot of teams, because there's no way to know every play they're running. You just got to work on actions and principles against them, and that's what we'll do in a short turnaround on only one day after the Furman game, getting ready for Wofford.
I think when we made the switch from the Atlantic Sun to the SoCon, we wondered who will be our immediate rivalries. Of course, Chattanooga came up, close drive to Chattanooga, close drive to Birmingham to play Sanford. But really, Furman and Wofford, we just kind of are natural, once we get together, battle one another, great competition.
Yeah, good games, and I think there'll be history, long history, as we move into the conference. Year after year, football, baseball, whatever you want to mention, I think that's what's going to happen. Although baseball hadn't had a whole lot of competition in recent years, so I hope that continues for those guys.
Well, we're not many home games, as you pointed out, after this homestand especially, but Hawkins Arena, certainly last Saturday, an amazing crowd, over 4,000. And certainly, tell us about the impact when we've got Hawkins Arena that full, that loud, the impact it has on your team.
It's just amazing. I think the other teams look around, and there's only a few in our conference that can match what's going on in our building, and that's a lot of years of work from a lot of different people, and the administration to our staff being out, and our players being out in the community, going to reading programs, and it's just, it builds, and you get people that are vested and care. And we're thankful that they're still coming and excited, even though we've had a little bit of struggle this year and hadn't won like we have in the past. That's a credit to our players that they want to still come see them play. I'm thankful for that. But I think that place has become a really special home court, and it continues to be. We need it to be special on Thursday and Saturday against two really good teams. This could give us another boost in league play, but it could give us another boost emotionally, psychologically, as we finish the season.
Yeah, it'll be 5-0. Going back on the road to VMI and ETSU would be huge.
Yeah, man, that would be great. I might buy you an ice cream cone.
All right. No onion rings?
No, no stinking onion rings. I like the varsity, but I don't like the onion rings.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for this week. We always have great food, fun, and fellowship here at Wild Wing. We'll be back
Wild
here.
Chef Salad.
Wild Wing. There you go. We'll be back here again next week when we return with more Inside Mercer Basketball.